Boobies, violence in the near future in 1997. Welcome back, you nipple-sucking babies, to another edition of my Whimsical series, Why Did My Dad Show Me This? This week, I'm carrying on with the cool as fuck Predator movie, so of course, it's 1990's Predator 2, directed by Stephen Hopkins and starring Danny Glover, Gary Busey, and Bill Paxton, rest in peace. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, or as usual, I'll kill the family dog. Taking place in the near future city of Los Angeles in 1997, a place with a huge drug war between the voodoo Jamaicans led by the vicious King Willie and the bloodthirsty Colombians. With the police stuck in the middle of this gruesome battle, we follow war-torn LAPD Lieutenant Mike Harrigan, played by the awesome Danny Glover, a man who has clearly been through some shit and is clearly one day from retiring. Opening with a gunfight between the Colombians and the LAPD, Mike Harrigan uses his car to recover two injured motorcycle cops, outwitting the gang and getting behind them before brutally shooting 4 gang members with a shotgun. But little does he know, the Predator was watching him delete those criminals all along. Seeing his impressive skills, the Predator marks him as a potential warrior. Before Mike and the other cops can enter the gang's stronghold, the gang is arming up with an impressive armory before an explosion blasts from the building. Against orders, Mike and his team enter the stronghold, finding nothing but blood and bodies. Mike finds one still alive and chases him to the roof. Spooked by the Predator, the gang member starts to shoot, causing Harrigan to return fire, launching the man off the roof, killing him. Apparently, Harrigan has some sort of fear of heights that comes back a few times later. Just thought it was an interesting character aptitude, trying to make him less like Arnie, more like John McClane, the sort of, regular guy. And I think Danny Glover does an absolute brilliant performance in this movie. The Glove Man, it's like the Lethal Weapon with aliens and an even more fed up Danny Glover. That's even possible. He's so goddamn sweaty in this entire movie. Make a goddamn Glover smoothie with the juices coming from those wide leg 90s pants. I tell ya, it'd be delicious. Slurp that. Afterwards, we get a good look at a very hectic police station. We're introduced to the sleazy but charming Larry, played by Bill Paxton, God rest his soul. Naturally, he's hitting on police officers. Naturally. They have no time for his nonsense. Larry asks to be transferred to Harrigan's squad, making Harrigan question the gun-wielding cowboy who would want to send themselves to a war zone because, as I mentioned, LA is one of the biggest battlefields between gang and law itself on the planet at the moment, and it's pretty fucked up that you'd want to go there. In classic Predator fashion, each member of the gang gets taken out in one of the most creative and horrific and memorable ways. The first guy to go is Danny, Harrigan's best mate and squad member, goes to the gang hideout alone where there was a massacre with boobies and voodoo and the Predator, obviously. He goes and he gets fucked up. He gets lured in by a voice of Harrigan, and I don't think it's fair. I think that Predator was playing dirty. He's got some new gadgets like the line net that cuts the flesh of those trapped, which we see in Alien vs Predator. The two-pronged shooty thing that Danny finds for getting fucked up by the Predator, which is a bad sport because again he lured him in. Anyway, that two-pronged thing is pretty cool, and actually they realized what they were dealing with after they tested it for earthly materials, but it comes back negative, letting Harrigan and his team know they're dealing with a motherfucking extraterrestrial. I think this is one of the Predator movies with the highest kill count, human kill count, because there's that subway scene and the gang warfare, but I'm talking Predator kills only. That subway scene, he murders so many fucking people on that. That's the scene. Larry dies, brutal, there's a bloodbath. He gets killed, fucking Predator classic finisher, Mortal Kombat style. Leona, the Latina, I haven't even mentioned the fiery hot Latina that's in Harrigan's squad. She actually gets let off by the Predator because she ends up being pregnant. Nobody knows, but she gets detected by him that she's pregnant. But later she gets picked up by paramedics and she seems okay, despite everything. Gary Busey plays a CIA agent, Peter Keyes, head of the OWLF task force operating in LA in the 1997. They were sent there to investigate the Predator after the events of Predator 1. They've been tracking them. Mike Harrigan, of course, finds out where their operating base is. It's at a slaughterhouse. And after a long back and forth between Harrigan and Keyes about jurisdiction and revenge and shit, Keyes isn't exactly happy when Harrigan shows up and tells him to wait while his team go into the slaughterhouse, which they have frozen to counter the Predator's heat vision. I love this bit. The Predator looks into the room, realizes he can't see, so he just switches the mode on his helmet, killing everybody with no mercy. Guy's a fucking monster. He's so cool. Anyway, Harrigan enters the slaughterhouse to help after he's seen everybody just get massacred. A spinning blade takes down Gary Busey in half. You don't see it because there's some hanging pigs, but his body doesn't fall. So where does it go? Is it just suspended? Like what's happening? But it doesn't fall. Spooky. Harrigan then surprisingly gets a few good shots in on the Predator, injuring it to the point that he actually thinks he's slain the beast. Unfortunately, it's never that easy. Taking the fight to the rooftop, the pair end up hanging from a ledge. The Predator sacrifices his own arm, falling, leaving his self-destructing bomb with Harrigan on the ledge, somehow getting away. We then see Predator healing himself using his medical kit. And his medical kit, I think, is what makes this Predator so different from any other horror villain or anything like that. Like, he's a character of his own. He gets injured and they actually take the time to look at him fixing himself. And you see it across many, many different films using different techniques and loads of different things. It's great. Love it. Ending with a showdown between our hero Mike Harrigan battling man on Predator in a brutal showdown of wit and skill aboard the Predator ship, something that we haven't seen before. Using the Predator's weapon against him, Harrigan somehow fucking defeats the Predator, only to be surrounded by loads of other Predators, an elder Predator. They got so many cool designs. I think it's so cool. But apparently, this is one of the most expensive scenes in the movie. But they give him the gun from Prey as a reward, and then they fly away. The end. Yeah. I think this movie's awesome. I remember disliking it as a child, but it wasn't the same thing as Predator 1 with my boy Arnie, but as I've grown older, I've realized that's exactly what makes this film easily one of the best in the franchise. It's so different, you know, being in the urban setting with the gang warfare, and there's plenty of witnesses and victims, and I love the whole gritty crime cop thing, and I love the way the movie plays it so straight. Danny Glover is giving it his absolute all. With every gritty remark, he gets closer and closer to Murtaugh. The Predator itself, again, cannot get cooler than this Predator. They got back the original actor for the first film, Kevin Peter Hall, who I never mentioned passed away a year after this movie due to a complication in a blood transfusion, which sadly left him to catching the worst of them all. Goddamn AIDS. AIDS is what took this Predator from our world. Fucked up, man. It's not fair. Perfectly embodies the character. Totally getting the feel of something that's out of this world but not too far from imagination. The movements from the Predator are everything in the first two Predator movies, which make them so much better than everything else that comes after. Practical effects in the design and function of the Predator. I mean, his face is scary as fuck. It's a killing machine. It's so cool. The manacles. I watched a video the other day. I'll link it below. I can't remember what it's called as I'm saying this because I'm ad-libbing this bit. I have no idea what it's called, but he was talking about the CGI of the things now. They're all kind of flappy on the mouths, and it's just like, oh, there's something perfect about this. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you for watching this. So good. I appreciate it. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you could just give me any suggestions on a film that you'd like me to see, like me to watch, cover, do whatever, wank over, I don't know, something.